What's up and welcome to your Kinda Funny Gamescast for Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. Of course, I'm your host, Tim Geddes. I am joined today by Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Tim.
And Greg Miller.
I like a good email chain, and I'm
Yeah?
having a good one right now. We got one of those random emails sent to me, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, hey, this brand, which isn't a gaming brand, is trying to get into the gaming space and would love to pay you to put your put up on a reel or something. I was like, I'd probably pass on that, but what about a sponsorship of the shows? And then I got the, hey, I'm following up to see if you'd want to. I said, what about a sponsorship of the shows? I got the, hey, why? And so I said today, and she was like, I'd love any insight on why this isn't working. And I respond, I keep asking if you're interested in a sponsorship of the shows, but you keep answering like you didn't read that and you're a bot. That's the insight.
I'm getting a
You know
call
what I
from
mean?
maybe Jack right now, Greg. Do you want to answer and see if they want to do a sponsorship? Here, go for it.
You're not looking for business funding anymore?
Is this Jack?
7 and market close.
Jack? What is the? I know it's the Gamescast. Give me an Apple Cast for a hot sec.
Animal Cast?
Apple.
Okay.
Apple.
Okay.
Or the fruit.
There was supposed to be this whole thing, and I've seen other people getting it now, where the AI or whatever that it answers and does like it's scanning.
Oh,
I
I've
still
seen
got
that.
the
Yeah.
hey, you're gonna call, it might be spam. I'm like, fucking tell him to fuck off. What are you doing?
That's if you didn't answer as quickly, it would have popped up here and it would have like gave me a transcode of what was being
Did you
said.
opt into AI? Is that maybe the thing?
Probably. I don't know.
Okay, that's probably it. I never opted in. Maybe
Is it supposed to like? What was it supposed to?
it's supposed to be like, hey,
take me off
this
the
is
thing.
Greg's phone. What the fuck you want?
Oh,
I mean, it's nicer.
Yeah,
than
mine
that.
does it. If you call me right now, if it gets the voicemail, like I didn't know this until last week, but it's like my Siri is like the boy band sounding one, and so it's just like, hey, Tim's busy right now. Leave a message.
That's
And
awesome.
Oh my
That's
God.
It
awesome.
wasn't. I didn't choose that,
gotta
but
grow
it
up.
chose me. You know what I mean?
crazy. That's nuts. You're too old.
I did just get an email similar to what Greg's talking about. That the subject line is quick question. Hey Tim, do you still have a strong player base for games like Clair Obscur Expedition 33? If so, I believe I may have some ideas that could save you up to 70% on infrastructure costs. Go fuck
Oh.
yourselves. What a hard left that is. What are we talking about, man?
Hey, hello, Greg. Is selling the business something you consider? We help owner find buyers. The content creation business is like yours.
Oh, God.
I
What?
said yes.
Yeah, like, yeah, we'll see what happens.
You gotta take every shot you get.
Remember, everyone, this is the Kinda Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we get together to talk about the biggest reviews, previews, and topics in video games live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free. Watch us record them live and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of this show, we need you to YouTube Super Chat. We're talking all about Wolverine on PS5, our wish list, what we want to see, what we don't want to see, and I want to know what you want and don't want from Insomniac's Wolverine. So please, Super Chat in, and we'll get to them throughout the show today. Another little update for you. We are having some problems on Spotify. I think I have figured out the problem. Games Daily 2000 is still not up on Spotify. It should be on all other podcast services. If it's not, please let me know somehow, because I am working on it and trying to get everything figured out. But as always, backends change, update, cause problems. If you're having problems, unsubscribe, resubscribe, and that hopefully will fix your issues. Not with the Games Daily 2000 on Spotify. That's a different thing. Randomly, there's like a section of Games Daily 2000 that I don't understand why, but went from 60 frames per second to 256
Nice.
frames per
Oh.
second.
It got real smooth all of a sudden. Like they
And
really
that
got to show
caused-
off these donuts.
Caused some problems there, man. So I don't know what's going on. But anyways, we're an 11-person business all about live talk shows and trying our best. Games Daily covered Nintendo being weird,
They're
doing
doing weird
some
stuff.
things.
WNDs.
Definitely go
What's up
check
with
that
that
out. What's up with that baby, man? Is it Rosalina? Is it a Pikmin?
It's
Who
both.
knows? Oh, man. If you love what we do, you know, I already said that. After this, the Kinda Funny podcast, it's going to be a good one. We got me, Greg, Nick, and Joey on that.
Chip.
Greg and Nick have an energy. It's already brewing. I've already
I have a hot
sighed
take about
10
peanut
times.
butter you're not ready for.
Oh, I don't even want to hear it.
no.
It's going to bother me. Then the stream
Red.
Oh,
is
no.
the Call of Duty beta experience. If you're a Kinda Funny member, today's Greg weighs 20 minutes of the Taylor Swift Defense Force, TSDF.
Somebody's got to stand up for what's right, and I will.
Somebody has
right.
to. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, Delaney, the Psalm Twining. Today we're brought to you by Factor. We'll tell you all about that later. For now, let's start with the topic of the show.
Tots, 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 tots.
It's Wolverine, baby.
Woo!
It's officially happening. We already knew that, but it's been a while since we've got a check-in from them legally, officially, in any which way possible. So we got a trailer of the announcement for this game on September 9th, 2021, many moons ago. And then just a few short weeks ago on September 24th, 2025, pretty much 4 years, almost to the day.
God.
You know, we got the actual gameplay trailer, getting a little bit more of this game. So I want to start this off by watching both trailers back to back, just so we can get a little reminder of what's going on. And then we're going to go kind of through just different elements of this, the gameplay, the story, how similar we want it to be to Spider-Man or other Insomniac games, what we want different, all of that stuff. So if you have thoughts, super chat them in and we'll get to it. But let's start this off with trailer number 1, the announcement.
The tease. A lot of Magipore, remember that? A cowboy hat. It's a bar. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Who's that guy?
Who is that
I
man?
think that's Logan. That looks like
I think
Logan,
that
guys.
man's Logan.
I thought this was a Spider-Man. Turns out this is not a Spider-Man. That's Logan. Remember that?
I do remember
This
that.
is all the Insomniac logo.
At the dark end of the street, that's where we always meet. Hiding in the shadows where we don't belong. Living in the darkness to hide our wrong. You and me.
Haven't watched that in a long time. Still
I mean,
Good.
come
Yeah.
on. I will say that this will come up later in the conversation, but Kev, if you scroll back a bit when we get the shot of Logan from behind, which I do know is 90% of this trailer, if you look there on the bottom right, the license plate,
Yeah.
HLK 181,
Yeah.
you Google what that is, it's the Hulk versus Wolverine issue.
Yeah.
So very excited.
I
stuff
remember, we don't need to go through them all here. We could look it up if we wanted to. I remember the breakdowns of all, like the IGN breakdowns of all the different references up there and what they were pulling from.
Yeah, it's not the iconic like reflection and thing.
Oh, yeah?
Like, it's the other one.
Oh, okay.
From 1962, but still very, very cool. We'll get to that later. But yeah, let's check out the trailer from a couple weeks ago.
A long overdue one, some would say.
Oh, yes.
Been fighting longer than I can remember.
Come on. Jesus.
I'd like to say I'm not a violent man. That trouble just has a way of finding me. But I'd be lying. Doesn't matter where I go. How far I run. Death's always waiting. Just not for me.
Fuck, what a line.
Yep.
Blessing, that's a sneak. Whoa.
Cause I ain't no hero. I'm Wolverine.
God, that's going to be cool. That's going to be so good.
Sick.
All right, so there we go. That is all the official anything that we've gotten from Wolverine, from Insomniac. Let's just start off with the easiest question of all time. Hype levels.
I'm very hyped for this. Yeah, I'm extremely hyped for this, right? And there's many reasons for that. It being Insomniac, it being a different IP than Spider-Man for Insomniac. I know we're still within the Marvel world, but I think that is the most exciting thing possible when you think about what their version of the Marvel world looks like, and then also them getting to ante up the intensity and the aggression and the violence factor. I think it's fun. You mentioned that this is pretty much everything we've seen from the game. There is still that sequence that they had in the last State of Play where they talked about what they're doing here. They showed off the actor that's portraying Wolverine, and then also they talked Liam, and they also talked a lot about the blood. They got all up in here's the blood tech we got to work on for this for this game, and it seems like there was a big conversation for them around like how to really make that pop, how to really make that work. And I think that just speaks to the elevated level of violence here. And so I think with all that being said, I'm hyped for this. I think there's something, even just on a pure gameplay level, there's something about the sharpness of the claws that just hits differently than the fists of Spider-Man.
Every hit and punch, like every strike there, I want to call it a strike. It's very visceral, and you can feel how it's going to feel playing the game, watching this.
Even
thunk.
Even as we're playing Ghost of Yotei, right? Like, I mean, that is steel, but it's oftentimes steel on steel, and then you get that final hit, and that is like the stab or the slash or whatever. I think, when you're playing as Wolverine, and it is like I'm going to repeatedly stab you over and over again.
DualSense haptics.
Yeah.
Feeling the blood.
Feeling the squish in the haptics. I'm excited.
Oh, man. Greg, what about you?
I am hype, obviously. I don't think that's going to catch me off guard as somebody who loves comic book games and loves Wolverine, I think, as both a character and a concept, right, for a video game. I would say, though, coming off of it, I have realistic hype and realistic expectations. I think as I look at that, I'm excited for everything we see there, but I do sit there and go, stick with me. It looks like an Insomniac game. It looks like Spider-Man, which is a fantastic thing, but Spider-Man flows and feels far different than Wolverine. The way character models move, and yes, there's the thunk, like you see it of getting in there and doing it, but like so much of what we're seeing there, I think, is cutscenes or what we're doing. I want to see what it looks like when I'm actually playing and I'm tearing people apart and what that feels like. Is that going to feel like I am this unleashed Wolverine and anything can happen, or is it going to feel very much like canned animations and I'm playing this blockbuster movie and that's great and good and going to be, but it's so hard to say and not sound insulting because I mean I love the Spider-Man games from Insomniac so much. Are they? I know we just saw him tear people apart and stab them and put it through there, but like, is it going to have rough edges of like it's fucking Wolverine, or is it going to feel like I'm watching a Marvel movie Wolverine? And I don't know if I am I making sense with
you're definitely making sense.
I feel like I'm trying to put concepts into a sentence here that it looks so much like it's in the Spider-Man universe, right? It's all 1048. It looks like that. And is it going to go beyond that and feel more visceral than that, as I feel like it should, even though it necessarily shouldn't, because he's in the yellow suit running around.
What is visceral to you?
X-Men Origins Wolverine. Do you remember
the video game? Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry, I thought you meant the movie. I was like, I don't.
He got so mad.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Do not fucking say that. No, like that was the thing of like how over the top and awesome the video game X-Men Origins Wolverine was. Of course, a bad movie. Of course, not a great video game, bad storyline, whatever. But seeing Wolverine just in just normal gameplay, blown apart down to the adamantium skeleton.
It's what we want.
Tearing dudes, lopping off arms. Like that lunge you would do that was just like that screaming rage. Like we're seeing all that cinematically here. But are we going to carry that feeling into gameplay? And is it going to feel like that? Or is it going to feel... Again, Spider-Man, I feel like is the analog here that I'm using, and I enjoy Spider-Man, but like, I don't sit there like Batman Arkham Asylum, any of the Batman games. When I'm doing that and I'm piling on, beating thugs, and then I reverse and I do the thing and I throw the Batarang, I feel like I'm so in the combat flow, in control. This is the game. Whereas for me with Spider-Man, the combat was, I'm kind of just hitting buttons and doing cool shit and doing cool flips. And yeah, okay, now this specific enemy comes and I know I need to web the shield or throw out this gadget or whatever. It just felt like Spider-Man was popcorn in such an interesting way, where Wolverine, I wanted to feel like I'm fucking coming to kill you and I'm taking you apart piece by piece with my claws.
Are you sorry? Kebab's mentioned it in chat. I want to bring this conversation. Are you saying Insomniac doesn't feel S tier to you?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm not saying that at all. We cannot argue that Insomniac is an S-tier PlayStation studio with their output and lineup. Yeah, but you changed your tune.
Did I?
When they I don't know. I think so.
I don't think I ever did.
I thought. Well, I think when we ran this joke into the ground, I thought at the end you finally conceded.
I'm firmly on the Insomniac as S tier side of the conversation, and I think that S tier can involve 8.5 to 9 games. You know what I mean? I think that like, there's a level there of consistency, of fun that I feel like the style of game and what I love so much about the Insomniac games, I think there has to be a ceiling on the getting to that 10 level, just because I think that a lot of the things that I love most about it are kind of the padding, are kind of the fetch questy type stuff of like just more things to do. Just give me more things to do because I just want to do more things.
Yeah.
And I think that when you start doing that, it critically starts to chip off a little bit about the, okay, you really are just doing this over and over and over. But it's like doing it over and over is so fun that I hope I'm making sense there. But when it comes to the Wolverine side of things, like I do think that the violent nature that we're seeing in all the cutscenes, I think that what we're seeing so far from this trailer is proof to me that the gameplay is going to back that up. I do think that the combat and fights are going to be that visceral and have that much bloodshed and feel that like you are Wolverine ripping people apart.
And
My question there though is, from a combat perspective, gameplay wise, control wise, the things, your move set and what you're doing, Spider-Man does have all of the gadgets in the Insomniac games. Like it is a very, very tech forward Spider-Man. And a lot of that combat was the kind of rock, paper, scissors of, do they have a shield? Do they not have a shield? How big are they? Are projectile, not projectile, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was cycle through the thing. And I don't want to say willy-nilly button mash, because I do think that there's a lot you could do that, but I also think that you could play it a lot more strategically and do things with purpose. I just wonder what Wolverine's
arsenal's
going to be, right? Like, is there going to be a weapon wheel of some sort? Is it going to match the Spider-Man thing exactly or not? And then the bigger thing is, cool, the violence I do think adds, and I can see how from a gameplay perspective, not just like, oh man, this is cool because it's violent way, but more from a, there's Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, right? It's like, you can turn violence into gameplay and have that be satisfying. And I think that Insomniac has the stuff. They're not showing it yet, but I think that that's by design. I expect they will. But my bigger thing is the open world nature of Spider-Man, which is the majority of the game, I would say, right? It's like there are linear sections story-wise, but otherwise you're going around the city kind of just doing open, fun things because they're fun to do. And I don't expect that from Wolverine. So I do question what is in place of that. If the violence is in place of the tech and moveset arsenal stuff, what's in place of swinging around the city?
I mean, I see it being more of a Ratchet and Clank kind of structure, right? Like you're going to these locations, they're going to be, I guess I would guess semi-linear, right? Where you're going around, there might be different paths or whatever. I don't know and I'm excited for them to show me, what does a collectible look like in this video game, right? Like are you picking up voice notes? Are you picking up, remnants of previous X-Men dog tags, like references to other Marvel characters and all that stuff, right? Like, I think at the end of the day, and this kind of ties back to, I think, what Greg's talking about in terms of Insomniac, there is a level of game design that Insomniac brings to the table, and I think it is sort of predictable, but in a good way, right? Like, I love Insomniac. When we get into the S tier, A tier conversation, it's almost ridiculous because we're talking about S tier and A tier, right? We're all saying the same thing of they're an excellent studio. But I think for me, I'm in the place where I look at Insomniac as a studio that produces very great 8.5 to 9 games. And when I look at Wolverine, right, I almost see it as when you go to a restaurant and they have a big menu, right? For me, it's almost like Insomniac is a cheesecake factory in the way that they can give me a burger, they can give me a cheesecake, they can give me the Buffalo Blasters, but like at the end,
all good,
and it's all great. But I know
not the 5-star Michelin thing Naughty Dog's getting.
Yeah, and even to further it, right? I know that in that kitchen, it's all the same ingredients. You go to a restaurant and you know that when you order these different food, like these different menu items, they're gonna taste a little bit similar because they're only working with a limited number of ingredients. That's any restaurant. And so when Insomniac is giving me Sunset Overdrive, and then they're giving me Ratchet, and then they're giving me Spider-Man, I'm not going to look at Wolverine and go, oh, this is going to be different. I look at it and go, oh, this is going to be a different flavor what Insomniac tends to give me. And so, like, I think I do judge it, or not judge it, I think I view it through that lens of, all right, I think I view it less so as what does Insomniac bring to Wolverine, and more so what does Wolverine bring to Insomniac? What does this
great way to look at it, right?
Look like, yeah.
One of the things I'd like to bring up, I saw go by in the chat a while ago, was somebody being like, well, with Greg's talking about gameplay and visceral and stuff, what does he think of the gameplay here? We're seeing gameplay. You're acting like you're not seeing gameplay. I really don't think you're seeing gameplay. Stick with me. You are, especially in that alleyway where he's slicing at people. there's no HUD, there's minimal effects. There's also a lot of these fights you're seeing, like this thing here. Yeah, you're controlling this. You're tapping X or circle. Like in the same, but that's not the moment. I want to see what it looks like to walk down the alleyway, have the conversation. It explodes into a fight. They come in. My claws come. Like, what are we doing there? How does that flow and vibe? These are all the end of gameplay, even as you jumping at the things of Wolverine leaping. The best you have is that alleyway where Wolverine's moving his claws around and slashing at people, and it doesn't look like it's that impactful, that powerful. I'd much rather it be like when I'm in these fight scenes, and I'm sure this is happening again, they have to keep stuff back, right? I'm hoping we're in fight scenes where we are at it, and the guy here, this is the actual gameplay, right? But again, how does this get set up? What does it feel like? Blah, blah. It's the idea that, like, I want to be in these fight scenes and have those things where I get stabbed, right?
Yeah.
And it is you punch him off and you roll up and it falls out. You're like, doing that thing. And what does that look like for him? Are they using, like, we see his cheek in a cutscene cut, and what's happening in a normal thing when you're getting shot by a billion machine guns?
One of the things that I'm seeing a lot in this trailer as well are like a lot of what seem like, it's what you're saying, Greg, a lot of set piece moments. And
Which is to be expected in the first trailer.
Which is to be expected, but also I think coming off of Spider-Man 2, the set pieces in that game were fucking excellent.
Oh my God,
like
man.
when I'm thinking about the opening and the fight against Sandman and stuff, and
yeah.
how cool that was. If we're going for a more linear approach, but we're still going for something that's obviously not Ratchet and Clank, you're dealing with a violent superhero. I want to see some of those set piece moments almost mirror an Uncharted level of like, oh, then this happens. Like, seeing him riding the motorcycle. I want to control that, right? And then when he goes down and then lands on the truck or whatever, like, you want
to be like Uncharted Jeep, right? Where we were doing it, and then for a cinematic cutscene or whatever, it would pull around.
Yeah, like
I guess.
I think to Tim's question of what does that structure look like as far as, all right, it's not an open world. What are we doing here? I could see it like if they really locked in and really like if they looked at maybe Naughty Dog for some of that inspiration. I could see it being a lot of moment to moment. No, we've really curated an experience that's gonna be you're gonna be able to control it, but like you're still gonna have those crazy things happening. You're sliding down the roof. You're doing this thing. You're doing that thing.
Now, this is an insane question to bring up, but I think with the context of the conversation we're having, I think it's interesting. If they were to do that, limit it a bit, make every single thing a banger set piece moment, or not set piece, but story driven, gameplay driven, all of that kind of adding up to cut the fat. This is not a collectathon. This is not this giant open thing. Does that have the chance to elevate this then?
Yes.
I think it has a chance to speak to people in a way that like might even be deeper than Spider-Man. Just on, I think maybe on like the critical level. I think that's how you get to an Insomniac 9.5 to 10 out of 10 game.
Well, yeah, because again, I think even beyond critics, right? You're just talking about giving someone a polished cinematic story where you're able to keep them moving and keep them going and kind of control those plot beats rather than it be something crazy happens in the Spider-Man story and then you fuck off for 3 hours to go chase pigeons and get spider bots and stuff like that. Like that's what we both love and then lose so much of like, oh, well, the golden path is this, but I didn't get it in the right order. I didn't do the thing, what I mean? You do that. Where if this was like, it's just Logan's story, right? 10 hours, 12 hours, even that might be long in the tooth for what you're doing, but it is whatever the objective is that takes them from Squamish, British Columbia, as we saw there, over to Madripoor, over to, what I mean, as he does this globe-trotting adventure as Wolverine. I think that would serve very well because, again, I don't need Wolverine GTA. I am boots on the ground in Madripoor, and it's not as big as like Vice City or whatever, but it's like I'm running around this open environment for some reason, chasing things and finding side quests and helping a homeless guy with his pigeons.
Yeah, and exactly, and that is Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Like I think the core character of Spider-Man
100%.
is being distracted, having too many things to focus on at once, and like, you should be doing this one thing right now, but this person needs help. There's a crime breaking out. I need to go, flip this car over or whatever. And I think with Wolverine, it's a very different, obviously different character, different story, different rating for the game, right? Which I think they know that they need to kind of take it a bit more seriously, I think, in terms of like telling a cohesive story that like the M-rated gamers are going to appreciate. But one thing I do love about the Insomniac Spider-Verse is how they just jumped in, like it wasn't an origin story, right? Like he's been Spider-Man for a long time, and that kind of put us in a great spot to learn, okay, cool, what has this Spider-Man experience and what hasn't he? Okay, cool, he didn't experience Venom yet. The second game we got that, but he did have all this other stuff go on. I really do wonder, like looking at this, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a fairly non-linear story where him in the suit, him out of the suit. Why is that, right? Is that flashbacks?
Yeah.
Is that just different time frames? Like, I don't know, but I think that that's very interesting, right? Like, is some of the earlier stuff of seeing him not in the yellow suit, like, is that more of the pre-X-Men days?
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my next question is where in the X-Men timeline do you guys think this is? We're seeing Mystique, we're seeing some references that we're familiar with. But yeah, do we know, or do you guys think that the X-Men already exist in this Wolverine game?
100%.
Okay.
I think this is post X-Men or concurrently with them, but I would say post. My imagination runs away for no reason really, but from what we're seeing of a Logan who has left the X-Men, who is on the outs, whether it's good or bad that he's off on his own, but he's off on his own. He's hung up the yellows. And so I do wonder if the yellow suits we see here are obviously flashbacks we play throughout the game, and then obviously at the end he's gonna have to don them to take down whatever it is, or if it is that, I don't know, something about him right here just makes me go, oh, he's been off. He's trying to get out, as always. He's trying to get out of this life, and something is bringing him back in, setting him back on a mission for revenge to find whoever's missing, whatever it's going to be. And then, you're seeing both flashbacks, I think, to the final case of Wolverine and what went wrong, like why he has a beef with these people, or then obviously some flashbacks, some endgame things probably where he's back into it.
Yeah. Zabe in the chat says there has to be X-Men because he has the X-Men suit, but like that's the interesting thing is like him having the suit. That just means that where we're at in the time, but like we might not see the mansion, we might not see a single other X-Men
I don't think
character.
you see the mansion. I guess if they were doing flashback, I still don't think you see the mansion. I think the best you get is the jet. I think you get the jet. I think we get with the flashbacks, and again, I think it's going to be something that went wrong and drove him away from this life, or set him off on this thing. I think you'll get X-Men in there. I'll say. We talked about this in one of the things, but now that we've actually been stirring this thing, I think you get he's got two or three with him on the mission that went wrong.
On the mission.
Yeah.
I definitely want to keep talking about this, and I have a lot more thoughts about will we see Spider-Man in this game. But let's talk about that after a quick word from our sponsors. This episode's brought to you by Factor. Fall always feels like there's just so much going on, so much stuff to do, shorter days, busier routines, back to school. It's all just a lot. That's why so many of us here at Kinda Funny love Factor. Their chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious, no matter how hectic the season might get. On many occasions, Factor has completely saved both Greg and Jen when they needed it most. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meals, including premium seafood choices. We're talking salmon, we're talking shrimp at no extra cost. Eat smart at factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off and use code kindafunny50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code kindafunny50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. And we're back. I was talking about Spider-Man, right? Insomniac's been building out this world, and they obviously started it with Spider-Man. We've now had 3 Spider-Man games kind of fleshing this all out. But I think it's interesting to look at Spider-Man 1. And them dropping this character, this world on us. They're already like in that world, and we kind of just had to figure it all out. They gave us so much though in that first game. Like they gave us the Sinister Six, they gave us Doc Ock as the main bad guy, they gave us Miles Morales, right? Like that was mind blowing to me playing that game of like I can't believe they're jumping to this so quickly, but they did, right? And then you kind of expand from there from the rest of the games, like. To me, I'm like, maybe they do that here too. Like, I think that
I think you're in the deep end. Yeah, I think it's going to be like, this is the mutants exist, the X-Men exist. There's all this stuff. Like, there's no hand holding, and there'll be history and things like that.
Not that like leaks are reliable to go off of, but like, I could easily see this leading into an X-Men video game. And so if they're gonna make an X-Men video game after this, then for sure we're gonna get some strong sense of X-Men.
But with that, it's. Do you think that we'll get as much X-Men as we got of Miles? Miles being playable in Spider-Man 1, Miles being a core part of the story, him and his dad, right, in Spider-Man 1?
I think the difference is that with Spider-Man, you can have Miles and you can have like all these Sinister Six characters and all this stuff, and at the core, it's still Spider-Man. Like the game is called Spider-Man. I think the more X-Men that you shove into a Wolverine game, it starts to feel less about Wolverine and starts to feel more about the X-Men world at large. And I think this is something that you have something special with Wolverine, like the brand name Wolverine, the character, like the even Wolverine's world outside of the X-Men is so filled with things to do and things that you can explore that I think it's more of a powerful statement to have this be more of a focus on Logan with small references. So that way, when you get into
Avenger
X-Men,
style.
Avengers style,
With
yeah.
Spider-Man, right? Where
Exactly.
it's like they're there, they exist, but they're not in the game.
Like I would, if X-Men are there outside of like Mystique and the characters that are core to the story, if we're making a stronger allusion to the X-Men, I expect 1 to 2 scenes max. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I think that's right on the money, right? This is a Wolverine game and not an X-Men game. And I think Wolverine having such a different power set than Spider-Man, right? Like, we talk about this all the time, but for Spider-Man, I think of swinging around the city, right? And for this is going to be boots on the ground. You are one man with amazing healing factor and amazing animated skeleton, right? But like, you need to feel like it's you against the world, you against this onslaught and army and yada, yada. And you imagine that will be the feeling and the vibe of this game to lead you to what we assume the ending would be, right? It's got to be that Logan feels like he's in this all by himself. And until the end, when he realizes he needs to work with Mystique or the X-Men that he spurned, whatever, again, said in the narrative I've concocted that sent him away from the group on this lone mission or just him off drinking his face off, right? Like he needs to feel like he's all alone until he gets that, I did, I can do it. But I think to put us in the shoes of Cyclops, to put it even to be Mystique for a while, it would take away from what we're doing here. It needs to feel like you versus the world. Maybe
I mean, I think that there's not a chance that there's not multiple playable characters in this game. Like, look at Insomniac; they just love that. Like, I feel like every Insomniac,
but that
game,
could be the finale too, where it is that you realize you need to. So suddenly you do work with Mystique now, and you get to use stealth stuff. That way, it's not just Mary Jane stealth that everybody fucking hates.
I mean, I think it's gonna be Mystique stealth. I think
yeah,
that
but I think that'd be cool.
almost-
Like, go back here, change into somebody
exactly.
else.
Like, I think that that is a for sure thing that's gonna happen, just based on like how featured she is in this and like the way that the camera angles look, and like it seems fairly gameplay.
Yeah.
And it may, maybe they're just being clever with that, but I don't think so, because you look back to the other trailers and like Insomniac trailers are pretty on the nose. Like what they show is what you get from it. So I think that Mystique is a playable character. My question is, are there other playable characters? And I think that there will be. Because like this goes back to like the how do we make a Wolverine game when you can't fully use the Spider-Man skeleton, even though they are. Like we see this and we're like, okay, it's Spider-Man gameplay, but you're Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like the combat, the walking on the rooftops, like the way it all looks, it's like, yeah, this is Spider-Man, right? But I think that the way you have more set pieces and more big story moments and all that could be different gameplay styles with different characters that are a bit more like mission based. But that hasn't been Insomniac's strong suit so far.
I was gonna say that shit has to hit, because so far I feel like those are where a lot of the complaints come from. We're even thinking about the Mary Jane stuff in Spider-Man 1, in the times that we are, even like the science puzzles they had in Spider-Man 1. Like anytime that I'm not playing is Spider-Man, I'm kind of like, oh man, I wish I was playing as Spider-Man. And yeah, if I'm playing a Wolverine game, I want to play as Wolverine. Now,
and that's where it gets so tough, right? And why, again, I think linear helps, and you need to just tell a story, because like, what mini game is Logan doing that isn't going to feel like, what the fuck? Why are we doing this?
Yeah. I mean, again, that's a great question. Like but it's, I think then a problem of a 10, 12 hour game. Like I know the three of us are like, hell yeah, sign me up. But like, I feel like for 4 years in the making between trailers, a year away from this game coming out, a big, the placement of this game for Sony, for PlayStation Studios, right? It's like, I feel like that is not going to go over well. Even though I don't agree with that at all. But do you think Hulk's in this?
I hope so.
I hope so, man.
That would be fucking awesome.
Because I mean, the fact that the license plate's there and just like what this game being M-rated, seeing how violent it all is, I feel like knowing Insomniac, knowing the set pieces they like to do, knowing their gameplay decisions and what characters that team likes to pull from, I guarantee that between Wolverine 2, and X-Men game, probably not an X-Men game, it'll be a Wolverine thing, so Wolverine or Wolverine 2, he's facing Hulk.
Yeah.
My thing is, do we get a Wolverine 2? And I know that it's a lot of questions of, does this game do well enough or not? But
you're getting Wolverine.
There's something about this that to me, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if you get the Hulk versus Wolverine fight, even if it is just a tangent flashback story or something you get. Like, it could be the start of the game. It could be just like a, you see what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
And we get the Sentinel tease there, but like, I see this as like, if it's a Wolverine game, do the thing, man, because this might be your only shot.
That's the thing about it, where I think this, yes, in a vacuum is Wolverine 1, right? But in reality, this is the fourth game now in the gamer universe Insomniac's installed, right? So I don't think you can come in and be conservative with those moments. To your point, you got to deliver on what Wolverine fans want. And I think in a world so saturated with Wolverine, whether it be Hugh Jackman or the cartoon or the comics, right? Like, there's so much to pull from and so much that even MCU fans haven't seen but would love to see. The Hulk stuff would be fucking insane and such a cool way to open the game and really set yourself apart. And again, Insomniac openings are usually batshit and not what you expect and like totally out of the ordinary for what you're getting. So yeah, that would make a lot of sense. The reference is very nice. Again, it's a new world for them to play in. And yes, they shouldn't pull punches. They should be going all in and doing all sorts of shit. So then it gets even crazier, right? Of like, all right, so we keep talking about this being a Wolverine game. We keep talking about other playable characters, right? What other X-Men are we going to see? What if we're all wrong on this? And what about it if it's what other Wolverine are we going to see? Are we going to get Laura Kinney in this? Is that the way you do this? And you make it a very Wolverine game, but it doesn't need to be it.
No.
It turns out that whatever separated him from the group and put him off on his path, Laura's been going as the all-new Wolverine. She's got the suit, yada, yada, yada. So she's what shows up at the end to be the, you're not in this alone, Logan. Let it go. Whatever happened, whoever died at your, because of what you did. You went to slash somebody, you moved, you stabbed Jean Grey, you did whatever. Like, let's go. That's the thing, and you raise it up that way. And she could be another playable character and open yourself up to a Miles situation. That would be really awesome because of Laura Kinney.
I really like what you're presenting, and I think that does add up and make sense. I don't think it adds up and makes sense for how Insomniac sees its worlds and characters.
Yeah.
That seems a little too derivative of what we're getting currently from things. Like, I think that they like to kind of have their own take on stuff. And like, there's such hardcore comic nerds about this stuff that I feel like that seems too easy of an answer for them. But I do like what you're saying about the Wolverine being both their names and like that being a reason why he's not with them. That's actually pretty interesting.
If you do get the Wolverine versus Hulk fight, does that then open up, I guess, desire from fans of now I want a Hulk thing?
Fuck
like
yeah,
now I want Avengers thing?
Yeah.
Is that something that they want to do? I mean, is that something they want to open up?
I mean, now you're back into the question of where are we at with Marvel games and how are they handling things? Because again, like a Hulk game,
I would love a Hulk inside.
We always make this sound so simple, but
Hulk
like
smash.
Hulk Ultimate Destruction is another game that was not a 10 out of 10, but fucking really got what this was. And so either having another Insomniac team or just another studio playing that world with the Hulk, you know what I mean? Like
at a certain point,
go
though,
make a smashy smash game.
Like I know we mentioned Wolverine 2 before, but when we're talking about Insomniac, you're talking about a team they're not lacking for Marvel IP and Marvel properties to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're gonna make more Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
Like there's the rumored / leaked like Venom thing. There's the rumored / leaked X-Men thing.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like between all these different, I'm sure one day they want to make another Ratchet and Clank. I'm sure that's lower on their list now, but I'm sure one day they will. Right. So between all these different
For all the
things,
people in the comments, resistance.
yeah, I think for them, they're probably not even looking at this of like, all right, how do we continue to like franchise or how do we set up this thing or X thing? For me, I'm like, how do we contain all this as far as what we can do? Like, I'd be scared to then put I guess sow the seed of Hulk desire when I know we might not get to that in 50
But it might
years.
just be a taste too of like people who want. I mean, Jeremy Dunham wants a Hulk anything, so put a Hulk in there. Like, and we live in a post.
But this is what people want from Hulk. The majority of people want from Hulk.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing is like
you don't want.
You might well be like,
20
a Hulk game could be cool, but like the majority of people, it's like they just want Hulk in a amazing Insomniac directed set piece and have it be
honestly
be great.
What I want from Hulk is spoilers for Spider-Man 2. For a
The
second.
game, yeah.
Yes, the game, the video game. What I want from Hulk is what I got from Venom and Spider-Man 2. Give me a level where I'm smashing through everything.
Yeah,
That's
good
it.
point. Yeah.
Cool,
That's it.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that level is satisfying enough, and like, cool, you could turn that into a whole game. I don't think that there's a world that is going to hit the levels that a PlayStation Studios game needs to be hitting with Marvel games, right?
For sure.
And I'm with you in the sense that I don't know that we get a Wolverine 2. Like, I do think money talks, and at the end of the day, Wolverine is one of the major characters, but because of how superheroes have evolved in the mainstream in the last 20 years, the Batman, Spider-Man, Wolverine being the big three, while still true, I do still think that those are the names. I think that the Avengers dilution of it all has caused a more interesting conversation there of like, that. I don't think that that's the unanimous, every single person would say that in the way that 20 years ago they would.
Yeah.
You know? So I wonder with how big of a push X-Men seems to be getting right now from comics, movies,
MCU.
everything, just where we're at. It's like, yeah, building towards an X-Men I think makes sense. So, and maybe this is just the hopium in me, but like do one Wolverine game and give it your all. Do every cool Wolverine thing in this one project and
That's where
knock
I'm
it
at.
out of the park. Do not hold back. And I think the game starts with the Sentinel fight though, and I would want to see the Wolverine Hulk thing be more of just like a side mission tangent flashback type thing. But I think you start with the Sentinels and build the world. Like you need to center it with X-Men and mutants and so much of the core stuff of like what makes Wolverine important as a character, not just as a superhero.
Totally, yeah, that'd be awesome. And I'm with you on that. That'd be another great start. But again, I feel like a Sentinel fight, I don't know. I would say it would be predictable, but I guess fighting Kingpin and not knowing what we know now that you're going to open with something unpredictable to the story, but predictable to a universe. Yeah, it'd be cool to see Hulk weaved into Wolverine, right? Where it is the bad guys who are all of this have captured Banner and he's having to do it. So when, you don't even know that he's using a code name, Wolverine gets in there, hits him, his eyes glow green. You're like, oh, fuck. And that fights off to the
amazing, right? Like that sounds like Insomniac. Like that sounds like such a fun reward to us of like, if you know, now you fucking know though. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So to your question before break, which I think is an interesting one, is does Spider-Man show up in this?
It's an excellent question. My gut says not in a substantial way.
Yeah.
Right. I do think yes, though.
Yeah.
Like I do think. Why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? And again, looking at Insomniac, but looking at what Insomniac does with their games, it's like they do the tee up, they do the connections between stuff, and they don't shy away from that.
I'm gonna say no because I just think tonally, even though we don't know the tone of this game 100%, I just think tonally it's not gonna work. Whereas like if it was an X-Men game, totally could see it. They're doing the thing, it's all over. We did it. Spider-Man swings in. Sorry, I'm late, guys. Oh, you already, you know what I mean? Like that makes sense to me. Whereas this one, I don't. I think you're gonna get something else where they tie it in, and I don't want it. I think it's lame. But I would say something like Silver Sable. You're gonna get something like that, and her the hired goon mercenary thing she had. They're one of the factions that's fighting the other factions, so they fight Wolverine for a little bit, or it's just a crossover.
Gotcha.
Her hunting someone. It's like I think that's the level
That
you
would
get.
make more sense in my brain.
Yeah.
Like I think it's tough to, outside of maybe like a newspaper reference or something like that.
References
Spider-Man.
100%. Maybe even he's in the bar and fucking Spider-Man swings through and
So like if Spider-Man shows up, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like what's Spider-Man doing here in Canada?
I can see him being in the newspaper on the TV or whatever, but I don't think he's going to help him in the mission.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
I mean, Wolverine and Spider-Man do have a lot of history together.
I know they do. They
so
kiss.
it's like
They do kiss with tongue. It's crazy.
Wolverine's the one upside down. It's crazy. But yeah, it's I'm with y'all that in the M-rated universe they're building, I struggle to figure out how they'll fit it in, but my money's on they do though. Like I think that Insomniac having the white spider, like they want their unique take on things, and like I think that firmly cementing this Wolverine game in that same universe, knowing that we're building to an X-Men, to me, I'm like, they're going to want to tie it. And yeah, it could just be a brief post-credits or a brief little like nod, but like I think they'll find a way.
If you wanted to get really nuts with it, a cool way I think to there it is. Thank you. A cool way I think to weave it together, and this is very half-baked. So like I would let Insomnia, but it's some connection through Norman Osborn, where you're getting a flashback that when Norman was trying to help Harry, he kidnapped Wolverine, stole his blood, some bullshit like that to get the healing factor and figure it out.
At some point, even me as a fan, I'm like, I don't need Spider-Man in this game that bad.
I mean, that's my thing is like, it's not Spider-Man. It's just a whatever reference, a piece of paper you find. I don't know.
But I know that what I'm going to say is I know antithetical to comics and cinematic universes, right? But for me, I look at this game and I look at Insomniac and I'm like, okay, well, obviously you guys want to create a bigger Marvel universe. And I feel like forcefully tying in Spider-Man makes the universe feel smaller. Whereas if we can focus on other crossovers, we can focus on other characters.
If you get an unexpected, in quotes, Hulk thing, that makes it go, wow.
It feel bigger.
Yeah. And it's cool that Spider-Man's never fucking mentioned Hulk, to my knowledge. Or maybe there's some throwaway reference, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Let's look at some of the super chats here. Red Hudson says, I just want a dedicated SNCC button.
See, that was another question I was going to have is, what is the mechanic? What is the button you press that feels satisfying. What's the web swing? What's
real
the
talk
hammer?
though, like I think they might have just nailed it in a way that I haven't even thought of, like opening up the combat options. It's like, yeah, you have clawless and then with claws.
Yeah.
and
And I'm
like,
sure you're gonna be able to pick shit up off the ground, right? And like you saw the destructible environment in there. That's probably so destructible environments. I imagine are a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, are we stabbing? Are we grabbing and throwing through stuff?
God, the claws coming out at like as a gameplay thing is so
cool.
simple and cool.
You already have the jump we just saw there. Like, are we talking about different things we're adding? Are we adding in? This sounds stupid, but wall jumps, right? Where you're like propelling yourself off of walls.
Oh,
you know,
Like
yeah.
Spider-Man does, right?
yeah.
Are you gonna get the L3 plus R3 Berserker mode?
Of course.
What other villains are we getting to? Because that's Red Omega, you said?
Omega
I
Red,
don't know
yeah.
what the fuck that is, and I don't care.
Yeah. Omega Red to me is one of those characters that like I have read comics featuring him, but I mainly know him from like Capcom fighting games and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
I am
yeah.
woefully ill-informed on
Got
this
it.
man.
Jomo in chat says popping claws with haptic feedback about to hit like crack.
It is.
Which-
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Have you
Like,
stopped to think about what the controller is going to look like for this?
oh,
mean,
You're gonna get that.
stripes
it's
on
You're
it,
gonna
pleasing,
get
yeah.
that
though.
yellow. You'll get the yellow and he's what? It's yellow and black in this one. Is it blue? Is it just really dark blue?
It looks like a dark brown.
Okay, so
To
yellow
me-
and dark brown controller with probably a claw slash through it and a logo on
After
it.
that Kratos controller, I'm like, I can give it up.
Whatever. That was a nice controller.
Nah.
I wouldn't rush out to buy it, but
Benny B. Good says, I hope he sounds Canadian. Well, we've heard him. We know what he sounds like. I like how he sounds.
Yeah.
Uncharted Wolf says, do you guys think they'll use X-Men Origins Wolverine as the blueprint for the game the same way they used Spider-Man 2 on PS2 for Spider-Man PS4?
yes, no. I don't. What we're seeing in this, the fidelity where we're at with this game, I don't see it being. Oh yeah, so it's like somewhere between black and brown, black. It's black.
It just looks
That's
like, yeah, it
black.
looks like black to me.
I think you're gonna have obviously the lopping off of limbs and the blood flying through the air, but in terms of Wolverine getting decimated, like you saw in the footage Kev was running earlier from my IGN review back in the day, I don't think you're gonna get that kind of on Wolverine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be the blueprint in terms of what we want to
The
do. with these
character's doing a
claws.
thing, yeah, but like, no, I'm with you. Like, I think the PS2 Spider-Man, it being open, swinging around the city, side quests and all that stuff,
Yeah.
that is the core of it, of the,
That's what people want out of
Yeah.
a Spider-Man game.
God, what a special game this was.
kidding me.
Mando says, I want to feel the deep-seated pain that Logan feels. I want to feel the anguish that he feels when having to kill these people. Wolverine's a survivor through violence and trauma. And I do think that I fully trust Insomniac. Like, there's story beats and stuff. Like, they get these characters, and sometimes it's corny, but these characters are corny. And I think that this is going to be a Logan Wolverine story, and I think that it's going to stand with some of the best of them. I do think that's a taller task overall than some of the Spider-Man things, because obviously we have some amazing Spider-Man stories. But the Logan Wolverine stories, like some of those just hit different because of how grounded and real and dark they are.
Insomniac hasn't nailed that for me yet, and so I think it's like you mentioned, Logan and Wolverine just has a different thing going for it. So I think if they are going to nail it, it's going to be with Logan and Wolverine. And not to say that Spider-Man hasn't had really good emotional moments, because I still think about the ending of Spider-Man 1 of like the final boss fight and moments of that where it's like, damn, y'all really nailed this shit right here. But I think of a lot of moments of Spider-Man 2 that were supposed to be emotional, that were supposed to be like, hey, here's this character's inner anguish, and it just did not hit for me. And so, I hope it hits here.
It's always so hard to tell a Venom story.
Yeah, but they tried. they attempted it.
I hear you. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying give them credit for whatever they got wrong. I'm just saying, like, a core Spider-Man story without the suit, where you have, because like in reality, what should we have done? We should have had the whole suit, a whole game, and then do Venom in the third game. But I digress. Just like we should have fucking in the movies too. But I digress, right? Coming out here, Wolverine blank page. I think you don't get into the same problems.
Alex J. Sandoval says, does the game end with Logan reluctantly agreeing to visit Xavier's school for gifted
Yes.
youngsters? I don't know. Like,
I think it's him coming back.
well,
into the fold.
coming back, yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely coming. This is not his first time.
No,
Like, I don't
no,
think
no,
there's
no,
any
no,
world
no,
where
no.
that's the case.
I think we're gonna see the school in post credits.
Yeah, I mean that we're seeing the school in this game.
Yeah.
My question
Basketball
is
kid?
probably not him specifically,
Yeah.
but there will be kids that have just dumbass powers. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's like
Oh,
they
yeah.
need to sell. Like, look, it's not just the X-Men. There's other mutants here, right? Yeah, my big question though goes back to Miles and Spider-Man 1 of like, is it just a little post-credit thing, or is it like, no, this is actually in the game? Maybe not like the deepest main storyline, but like even thinking about like Carnage in Spider-Man 2, like you're getting a fair amount of this character, even if it's not like going all the way full in, but it kind of is, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think X-Men just does so much heavy lifting by itself to where you just show me a school. Like, don't even name the school. Just show me a school. I'm like, okay, well, I'm buying the next game. I'm buying whatever this is.
yeah. Danesta says, I really want a scene where Wolverine eats food with his claws.
You'll get that.
Do you think so?
Yeah, why not? I think
Hell
so, yeah.
Hell yeah. Chris Scott says, a bit late, but happy 2,000 games daily in 10 year. I grew up watching Beyond, been a best friend when I started a video game career, and now I'm watching you guys do Gamescast on a game I'm lucky to be on. It's surreal. Love you guys. Wait, so you're working on Wolverine? That's amazing.
That's insane.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you so much for all of your support. Let's see if there's more Wolverine-based ones here. Motor World says, I just joined. Sorry if it was already discussed, but I hope the Wolverine game's the same universe as Spider-Man. I also want a reference to the first Wolverine game on NES. It's confirmed. It's in
It is?
the Spider-Man universe.
When
so
I was
yeah.
like, is it or isn't it? I can't remember. I Googled and I found the IGN article citing our interview with Brian and Tahar.
Great.
I was like, shit, we broke that news. My
Amazing.
bad.
Oscar Navarro says, I just want Wolverine with Yakuza-style combat. And then Motorworld has the final super chat saying, in your collective opinion, what are the chances we get a Deadpool cameo or side quest?
Oh,
I know. I don't. This is something we've talked about off camera or whatever. I'm adamant against it based on what I imagine this game's going to be. It could be a different kind of game. But if we're doing the anguish and grounded, and it's Wolverine and there's fire, like it just doesn't work to have, hey guys, blah, blah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Again, that's multiple levels of levity beyond Spider-Man that I just don't think we enter into.
My big thing there is Deadpool and Wolverine. Of course, they have interacted before, and there are things about them together. But like that is an MCU deal. Like that is Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds made Deadpool and Wolverine happen. It's not because of the characters that they made that movie. And the R rating or M rating and all that stuff, I think makes sense. I don't think we see Deadpool in this at all. Like, I think that there's a 0% chance. Like, I really don't think it's happening.
As a gear shift here, you know that I don't like to use my powers for evil. All right?
Okay.
I only use them for good.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, creative director on this is none other than Marcus Smith. We've known Marcus Smith for years and years and years at Kind of Funny, but way back through IGN. All right. I've sent him the following message.
Uh-oh.
Okay. This is a text. Don't respond. You'll get in trouble. I've known you for a long, long time. I've never asked you for anything. When Wolverine, all caps, inevitably ends up at the school, make there be a kid with basketball. It's a Kind of Funny in review reference. Thank you. If you don't do this, I'll ruin this game. I'll make everyone hate it. This was drafted and read on the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Thank you.
I like it.
So when you see basketball kid in this game, you know it was us, y'all.
Now, here's what you also need to say. P.S. Also, add a couple mangoes around.
That's not bad.
You know, some mangoes in the school. What are they for? Do you know what they're for, Bless?
I know what they're for.
Do you think they're for Beast? What do you think Beast is gonna do with the mangoes?
I don't want to. I hope that doesn't make it. I hope that doesn't make it in the game.
P.S. Also adding some mangoes in the school.
Oh, God,
new message. No. Dozens of people will get it.
These are the people. They put shirtless Spider-Man. I'm not gonna high five. They put shirtless Spider-Man in both games, so this could happen.
Yeah, you never know.
If the mangoes make it in, this is gonna have a ripple effect. I don't think we're ready for.
I don't think we're ready for it either. Let's close this out. Any final thoughts on Wolverine of things we want to see from this game?
I mean, everything we're saying. I hope this is this sounds so stupid. I hope it's grounded in the way I hope it feels like I'm boots on the ground Wolverine. Like I want it to be that like it is a journey, a struggle, an adventure to go from place to place, and it's hard and it's pressing, and Wolverine doesn't want to do it, but he knows he has to do it. Like I feel like that's when Logan is the best, right? Like we all know this guy's got a heart of gold. Is just under all this pain and anguish and fucking anger, you know what I mean? And like seeing that done so well with Hugh Jackman, I hope they're in sometimes. I hope. Let's admit there's a lot of shit there, but there's a lot of great stuff too. Like I hope we get that here and really have this you're behind the claws feeling.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Even though I think I'm looking forward to this, whether it's just Insomniac doing what Insomniac does, or if they're able to find like a different flow with this. I'm looking forward to either result.
Yeah.
I'm more so expecting this to be another Insomniac game, but when I say that, I mean a game that's fun to play, a game that's vibrant, a game that's colorful, a game that, I want it 100% and do all the things in and all that, right? But also a game that we look back at and go, damn, dude, they're Insomniac and they made a fucking Wolverine game. Like, I'm very okay with that.
And you say that you play it after you play it.
That's
what you want.
If they make a 10 out of 10, I'll say they're S tier.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm very, very much with you, Bless, in that, it could go either of those ways. I do think it's more likely this is just Spider-Man and Wolverine clothing, and I'm so down for that.
Yeah.
I've platinumed Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Spider-Man 1, Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2. I will be platinuming Wolverine, I'm pretty damn sure. So I just want this game to be as fun as Insomniac can make games, and I expect it will be. The thing I don't want for this game, and I am incredibly certain will happen no matter what, is hold back in the trailers. I understand that they need to show a bunch of stuff. They've already shown so much here. It's Wolverine. We get it. It's violent. It's cool. I wish more than anything that this trailer dropped and it was coming out in 3 months and we could just be here. The fact that we have a year to wait scares me because I'm like,
Comic-Con
it's
panel,
going to make the
PGA.
game worse and the experience of the game, because the moments of, holy crap, are they really going to have Hulk? And then Hulk's there is going to be so much more impactful critically and just from an experience point of view than him just showing up in a trailer at one point. But we'll see. Let us know in the comments below how hyped you are for Wolverine, what you want to see, what you don't want to see. Do you think Spider-Man shows up? Do you think the X-Men show up? What else happens? Will there be mangoes? And what happened? Why is there holes in the mangoes?
Apparently there were mangoes in the trailer. There's like a market area.
Yeah, that
Saying.
they did
Just
it.
saying, everybody.
Case confirmed.
Whoa. All right, y'all. We're about to do the Kind of Funny podcast. It's going to be great. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Until next time, love y'all. Goodbye.